Okay, so it's 8 o'clock, and we're going to do the mindfulness of breathing this morning. So I just wanted to say a few words about that word mindfulness. It's quite an in word, or it has been over the last few years. Mindfulness, it's a bit of a buzzword. And it's sometimes when words get like that, we lose the meaning, don't we? So I just wanted to say a bit what mindfulness is. It's not just simply going around not forgetting things or remembering to do things. I mean, that is one benefit of mindfulness. But mindfulness, really, it's another word for awareness. It's an aware presence, an awareness that we are here, that I am here, you are here, an awareness that we're alive in the world, that moment by moment we're living our lives. And the Buddha said that we should be mindful of whatever we're doing, whether it's sitting or lying, standing, walking, going to the toilet, constantly aware. And what he meant was, I think, to be aware of that moment, not just to be aware that, we're standing up, but to be actually aware of ourselves, aware of our bodily sensations, aware of everything that's happening around us, just taking in our world in that moment. So this practice of mindfulness of breathing really helps with that, helps us to have a sense of being in the moment. And one of the great things about doing meditation is that we get distracted. You maybe think that's not a very good thing, but actually getting distracted can be very useful. It's what we do anyway, so let's make the most of it. And it's not so much the distraction that is useful, it's the realizing that we've been distracted. This moment when our awareness returns, our mindfulness returns, this moment when we suddenly return to the present, when we come back out of our minds into now. So that is a very precious time. It's almost like it's not enlightenment or awakening, but it's like a waking up. It's like a waking up to ourselves, to our sense of being here now. And you will notice in this moment, when you come back from being distracted, that there is no thought, because you've just come back from being away with the thought. So it's completely free of thought until, of course, the mind pops in and thinks, so I've been distracted again. How annoying, or something like that. But if we can not do that, if we can just realize that we've been distracted, we are completely in the present moment. And there is no thought, and yet we know that we've been distracted. We know that we've come back. We know that we're here. So this is awareness. This is mindfulness. And this is what we're trying to cultivate when we meditate, this sense of being here in our lives all the time. And if we can do that, if we can keep coming back from distracted thoughts, not just when we're meditating, but during the day as well, when we're going about our daily life, if we can keep noticing that we've been distracted, keep coming back to the present, then slowly what happens is that there are less thoughts and more presence. Our sense of being here happens more often, and we begin to live our lives. We begin to live our lives in the moment rather than living our lives in our heads. So that's what we're aiming at. And if we can do that, it's just wonderful, because we're calmer, more content, and the day is much more fun. It's full of richness if we can do that, and it lasts longer. time doesn't zip past in the same way that it does when we're going about in our heads. So for me, that's what mindfulness means. And so we're just going to practice that this morning. So hello to Emily, Geraldine and Jan who've joined us since I started talking. So we'll do the usual. We'll set ourselves up and we'll ease ourselves into the meditation. But I would just encourage you to not worry about being distracted, to just notice when you come back from distraction, and to really enjoy that peaceful moment when there is no thought, and you know there's no thought, when your awareness is there just by itself. Okay. So maybe begin by taking a few deep breaths if you want. Filling up the lungs, holding it for a couple of seconds, and then completely emptying the lungs. I'm doing that for 2 or 3 times, that's all, just to clear the air out of our lungs and put some fresh in. All right, so just settling into your meditation posture, whether that's lying down, sitting on a chair, sitting on a cushion. And just noticing being here right now. Just being aware of yourself, of your being, sitting or lying here in this very moment. Feeling the weight of the body being pulled down by gravity onto the chair, bed or floor or cushion. And just allowing that to happen, letting go of any effort to sit or lie. Just letting gravity take care of your body weight. Noticing contact with the chair or the floor or the bed. And really noticing the feelings in the body, wherever they're making contact. Very strong sensations of sitting or lying. Just noticing how you feel mentally, emotionally and physically. And whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, just accepting that as it is. It's where we're beginning from. If you're feeling sleepy, excuse me, if you're feeling sleepy, it can be helpful to open your eyes a little bit, or to, when you're breathing in, imagine that you're breathing in from wherever your contact with the floor is, perhaps your soles of your feet, breathing into the soles of the feet and allowing the breath to travel all the way up the body, along the spine, inside of the spine, right up to the top of the head. So sort of lifting the energy of the body. And similarly, if you're feeling restless, you could breathe downwards, breathing down from the head, down through the body into the ground. So just bringing attention to the breath in the chest, the upper chest, chest rising and falling. Shoulders rising on the in-breath, falling on the out-breath. And each time you breathe out and the shoulders drop, just letting any tension drop away through the body. And then again in the next out-breath, and again, just constantly relaxing on the out-breath. This is the mindfulness of breathing, and we're going to begin by following each out-breath right from the beginning to the end. And if you wish, you can place a number right at the end, beginning with 1, and then 2, and so on up to 10, and then beginning again from 1. But the main thing is to follow the out-breath. And on each out-breath, the tendency is to relax. So following each out-breath from beginning to end, and as you do so, just letting go. Not making any effort to control the breath. Just breathing naturally. Not making any effort to control the mind either. Just coming back every time you're distracted by a thought and noticing this moment of awareness. following the whole length of the out-breath. In the second stage, we're going to do the same thing but counting before each in-breath. So just for a moment, letting go of any effort, just noticing how you are before we begin. Maybe adjusting your position if you need to. And then when you're ready, beginning again, counting, if you wish, just before each in-breath, but making sure you follow the whole in-breath from the beginning right to the end. Each in-breath bringing energy into the body. You might even imagine that you're drawing energy in from the ground, from the earth, into your being. When you get distracted, just noticing that little moment of waking up when you return. Noticing that you are still able to notice, even though there's no thinking mind. Following the in-breath all the way from the beginning to the end. Moving into the third stage now and bringing our awareness, our sense of being down from the breath. Maybe we've been noticing the breath fairly high up in the body, in maybe around the mouth and nostrils or throat. Bringing our awareness down now to the upper chest, down the throat, into the upper chest. And just noticing the chest rising and falling as we breathe in and out. And getting a sense maybe of the sensations inside the body, as well as the actual rib cage. This sensation of breath coming and going, being drawn into the lungs and expelled. Really allowing yourself to get absorbed by the rhythm of the breath, the sensations, the movement. Just getting absorbed as much as you can in this. So you might like to stay in the chest where you are at the moment, if that's working for you. Or you might like to follow me down further into the lower part of the torso. It's up to you. So if you wish, moving down through the abdomen, right down slowly to the belly button. Just below the belly button somewhere is what's known as the hara. It's one of the chakras. And apparently it's sometimes called our second mind. Just a very sensitive spot. Now, can you locate this point somewhere just below the belly button, the middle of the belly, inside the body? Just concentrating on that point. Just feeling around for it with your awareness. And just allowing the breathing to take place there. almost as if this place called the hara is breathing for you. If it's not working, then just go back to the chest or any other part of the breathing body. If it is working, just allow yourself to become absorbed. Not getting too caught up with the practicalities of where it is or what it is. Just breathing from the belly. I'm going to leave the torso now, wherever you've been in it, and move up to the area around the nostrils or the upper lip where we breathe in and out. And for the last few minutes, just noticing the sensations around these areas. Subtle sensations around the nostrils or the upper lip. Just really homing in on this tiny little area, these tiny sensations. If you want, you can be curious about temperature, about texture, about the length of each breath. But try not to think about these things, just actually bring in awareness to them, bring in mindfulness to them. dropping all effort now, and for the last minute or so, just sitting, noticing, observing your experience, not trying to change anything or get caught up in whatever's happening, just simply noticing how it is for you. I'm going to ring the bell in a moment to bring the meditation to an end. And when I do, as always, taking your time to open your eyes and move your body.